She got a Gentleness Award.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Unsolicited Opinions podcast. I am, of course, your host, the Meerkat Monarch. Sorry for that little delay. We're really sorry. We're
Professional content creators, everybody.
really sorry about that.
It
was all my. Yeah.
Did you just move to Canada, Jan?
No.
Because you can't stop apologising. You sound Canadian.
Yeah.
Get on with it.
Get on with it.
It depends. Is he going to get penalised for misgendering someone now?
No. Who did I misgender? Did I misgender you?
Saying you're in Canada.
Oh,
yeah. Roy is horn self.
Unicorn is not a gender.
I'm all
There's only one of them,
myself.
so-
Myself, I'm antler fluid, if you don't mind.
Yeah. I sexually identify as an attack helicopter.
Anyway, I'm gonna start the show by, for once.
It reset the likes. What the fuck?
What the fuck
The
are you
chat.
doing? I'm trying to have an intro here. God damn
Nope. You're not allowed.
it! Constantly
Every week.
moderating my words, constantly interrupting me and saying you can do this better.
Yep.
Constantly doing. It's been 3 months of this shit, and I'm finally done with my book. Thanks to my very good friend Deefry.
He'll put up with it all.
who's been an awesome help in finishing my little fantasy story. And
I'm getting that on Kindle.
oh, thank you.
I was thinking of Lord of the Paperback.
So I need.
Ever since I smashed my Kindle.
Yeah. It's just it's available both in Kindle and paperback, and it will be available in hardcover a little later. It's just I'm negotiating with some book printers basically.
What's the
Yeah.
book
So you
called?
can
Dude?
put a strap on
It's
the back
called.
cover.
I'm so fucking flummoxed. I don't even remember to promote my own goddamn book. It's called Ismark the Mark Boy, and I even got a congratulations from Krendor on his live stream earlier today, where I shamelessly used a little bit of money to get him to say to buy my book, or that my book was finally out. And
You got a shout out. Yeah.
Marketing.
it's
That's smart moves.
Yeah. Liana Kay gave you a shout out as well, didn't she?
yeah. Leanna Kay also has given me a shout out, and a couple of
Well,
other
your book's dead now, dude.
authors.
Sorry.
A couple of other authors has also given me a shout out, which is awesome. And I've sold 24 books so far, which is pretty good for
Nice.
a completely new writer who only his friends knew about was writing
Well,
before.
I think you'll find it's the sale. I think you'll find it's the sales pitch on the blur that's selling it.
Yeah. Thank you to Plippy as well, who managed to spot that my blurb sucked, and he didn't say a thing, and he wrote me a completely new one. Which was, it took a German to say me tell me it sucked.
Jen,
Yeah.
Jen, now that you finished your book, it's time for me to tell you the most terrifying thing you can ever tell a writer. Jen, you finished your book. Now do it again.
Yep.
I know.
Yep.
I know.
Well, you can't go back and change anything in your first book,
no
no matter how much you want to help it with continuity.
That's canon now.
Yeah. Well, I can always do the George Lucas thing and just nuke it from orbit.
No,
and then say it's new.
No.
Just go back and just draw pictures over your book. That's all just crayon pictures written over the words.
Jen, what are you doing, Jen? Stop.
You're going, well, this is what I always wanted to do. This is perfect the way it is now.
Yeah.
Where's he, Sean Connery? It's perfect. I love this book. Yes.
No, but it's.
No, I just sound just like George Lucas.
It's just awesome to finally be done, and it's great to. It's been a lot of people who've done a lot of good things during that time, and I've been a bit, since I am the sort of typical frustrated writer the type of guy who never manages to finish any project, and then finally I do. So I run around everywhere bragging about it. I posted a thing to my Norwegian friends on Facebook that I've gone from the person who's the least the most difficult to get a hold of, to the person sending messages to everybody about how proud he is of his latest project. So it's pretty good, and I'm actually I don't do this very often on this podcast because I'm not very optimistic about everything that's
Jan
happening
is
in the
shy
world.
and withdrawn.
But
the
I'm
worst kind of
actually
Viking there
grinning
is.
right now. I'm physically happy. I feel really. It feels like a weight's off my shoulders, and it is there's some truth to actually getting something out there. That's the hardest part. But as Artivous said, now I got to write the second one.
Yep.
Now Stephen King just wraps around in his sleep. You'll be fine, dude.
Yeah.
Just
I
don't,
don't
have,
get paid by the page,
just,
you know.
just don't have a pay. Just don't have a payoff for an ending, and you'll be fine. Trust me.
Set your next book in Maine.
Well, yeah. That always.
It's a Norwegian
Have it set in Detroit.
No.
Ooh, there
What's
you
left
go.
of it? Yeah.
It has to be New England. A Norwegian writer travels to Maine, and so something vaguely strange happens. But then the story ends before it's resolved, and everyone's just gone genius. Because Stephen King's biggest mistake ever is finishing a book.
You still have to have the last 50 pages where the twist comes in that makes no sense whatsoever and destroys the entire premise.
Yeah, that's why. That's why
Shyamalan that shit.
if he does finish it, it's a disaster. It's always aliens.
As far as a twist in the final subject, there is actually a fantasy book like that, but it's a really good book. It's Stan Nichols' Orcs, like the Orcs Omnibus, is just fantastic. I don't want to spoil it, but it's just like huge build up and this like thing, and then when you think it can't really go anywhere else, just fucking bam out of left field.
Yeah.
Well, then everything you thought was just random.
When that's well done, that makes a really good book. When it's not well done, you have Stephen King.
Or I'm sorry to have to say it, I'm sorry to mention this author of Stoolwater, Dan Brown does that shit a lot. But at least he fucking fucking he's not even. Oh, God damn it! I'm gonna.
I want him to join the chat now. Just like,
yeah.
I like how you
Why
lift your
you-
coffee to your mouth and then you make yourself angry and put it down again.
I'll tell you what, Dan Brown's an asshole.
He's a real asshole. I met him back in
So angry, I can't drink his
1984, and then I
doesn't
talked
work if you
about
haven't got
a
the whiskey
friend of
bottle.
mine called Robert Langdon who worked as a symbologist, even though that's not a real job.
Tis is cool.
I swear, everybody,
What?
we'll get to the topics
Symbologist?
at some point.
I think this is
Yeah.
the most we've ever talked about the writing industry in the entire history.
This is the most we've talked about one subject.
Well,
They got a
it's-
point there, Artivous.
but there-
This is true.
And that doesn't happen on this show very often either.
I know, I'm kind of scared.
But congratulations,
One of the
Jan.
signs of the apocalypse.
Congratulations on getting published.
Oh, thank you.
Yep,
Yeah,
I'm going to read on my
congratulations, Jan.
commute, so if it's as long as you say it is, about 235 pages, then I should be done by this time next week.
I'm,
And then I can do a review.
It's a bit less than that because I took the hatchet to it. So
yeah, it's about 55,000 words. So,
give it a take.
yeah, give or take.
Behind every good writer is a competent or patient editor.
Yes,
I am the latter.
you know.
I
It's-
watched,
at
I
least
watched
it's-
that tweet you sent out about you, Susie Yarn.
What?
And he's like, "Oh, we got with Shakespeare
Yeah.
and his editor," and he's like, "Oh,
Oh yeah.
That always sounds-
Bigging yourself up a bit.
No, I was just it was
wasn't
more
a
of a
comparison to
joke.
Shakespeare.
No,
Yeah,
it was more the I wasn't frustrated that things got cut. I wasn't that. It was more of just a joke that you cut so much that it made it better. It made it more concise. That's what I meant by that. But people took it in a little different ways. They think I'm an egomaniac. I'm not. I don't necessarily like when people talk about me. I like when people talk about everything else, ideas.
Speaking of egomaniacs, story.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Let's start the show.
That's the segue I was waiting for.
Yeah. Let's start the show. We've been talking about me for 10 minutes. That's not cool.
Wow.
That's not how I wanted it.
Well,
not only that, he didn't say here's the thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm not doing it.
It's not official then. It's not official.
I'm not doing a here's the thing this week because I'm too happy. I can't do a here's the thing when I'm too happy.
So here's the thing. It's like his Wubba Lubba Dub Dubs.
Yeah. It's my Wubba Lubba Dub Dubs.
Here's the thing. Never trust a smiling Norwegian.
It's time to invade England.
No, the smiling Norwegian. Hold on.
That's usually after they got back from England.
Nobody's going to comment that the smiling Norwegian sounds like a kinky sex act.
Sounds more like a drink.
But yeah, all I can think of is that song. I can't remember who sings it though. So one more drink at the sunken Norwegian. One more drink.
That sounds like that sounds like an Irish drinking song.
It's like a pirate metal band. I can't remember.
Yeah, even more a sea shanty. Okay, let's get the show on the road. Since we're in the literary genre, or we were tangentially in the literary genre, let's move on to comics. And Artivous wanted to talk about one certain thing that got canceled this week.
All right, it's okay. When I talk about that, I actually keep track of comics, and I can't keep track of because when people bring up, the social justice problem in comics and whatnot, they rarely actually are explaining in detail why this shit sucks. And so people are like, no, it's fine, and you're just being good. I have to explain to them why they're retarded. And this is a good case of that. So basically, there's this comic that's tangentially around someone dying in police custody, of course, a black person, and all the black superheroes that they actually know exist in the Marvel Universe team up to investigate this black person dying in police custody.
Mm.
The problem with this is the people that they chose. Luke Cage, that makes sense. But they've got Storm and Black Panther on the team.
Uh-huh.
The problem with that is Storm and Black Panther have been divorced for some time now.
Well, that could be
and
interesting.
aren't exactly the biggest fans of each other.
Well, that could be an interesting bit of tension, but if done well.
Have been divorced? No, it's not. It's not even really brought up. And then the other thing
there's too busy on the point.
Exactly. The other thing is that Storm and Black Panther would not give a fuck.
Yeah.
They have bigger fucking problems.
Well, that would be an amazing payoff if they did investigate it. It was like, oh, no, they did try and punch the cop. So,
well, it only lasted 2 issues before they canceled it. Like this thing about Black Panther actually giving a shit is what kind of irks me the most about this, because Black Panther doesn't give a fuck about anything outside of what affects Wakanda.
Exactly. If it doesn't affect Wakanda, he gives absolutely no shits.
He cares about Wakanda, what is good for Wakanda, or what threatens Wakanda. Everything else, he doesn't care.
So you're saying he's the Donald Trump of comics?
Oh God, no, he's athletic and intelligent.
just like McDonald. Have you seen him? Like a gazelle, that man.
Plippy, stop.
Have you seen him at the podium waving his hands around? He's the epitome of a panther.
Like a butterfly's wings, his arms flap when he talks.
Oh,
Triggered.
No, like,
We've said
the
all
whole
sorts
point.
of things on this show, and that's the first time Artivous has ever been triggered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's not
You guys
make
finally did it. It took like 2 fucking years, but you finally.
The Orange Panther. Oh God.
Oh God, no!
No.
Wakanda's
He'd
great
be
again,
a
it's
lion
gonna be-
with that mane, man. He has to be a lion with that mane.
It's not really a mane, it's just one hair, but it goes all the way around multiple
But
times.
it
I've
got
seen the
canceled
furry
after
version of
2
Trump's
issues.
Lion.
It got canceled after 2 issues because nobody was fucking buying it.
Well, exactly. I mean, people are bored of
Well,
media
it's like-
that moralizes to them. Like, they
It-
get
it
the
was-
message. They know the message. They don't
If
care.
we want to be moralized too, we can go to church.
Well,
that-
look, it was
Well,
like this. It was like this. It's like, hey, look, a new Black Panther comic. Awesome. I haven't seen this character in forever. I wonder what they're going to do with this. Oh, my fucking God.
He's
Yeah,
in America.
Okay, I'll buy the second issue. Maybe this will change. No.
No,
No,
it's
no,
just-
He doesn't like leaving Wakanda in the first place because his whole job is to protect this
Yeah.
country.
And it's a country beset. I mean, it's like, imagine
he's
you were the
not-
country would be
It's the most isolated country in all of writing I've ever heard.
It's just like the Phantom spending all his time in New York City. Oh wait, sorry.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. The most isolated? Even more than Xanadu?
Yes.
Just... Well,
Okay.
no. I have to fucking challenge that one.
Really?
Xanadu is the... It's the most unreachable place. There's also a Norwegian version of that called Soria Moria.
Of course there is.
Which is the place.
Jen,
Yeah.
to even get to Wakanda's borders, you have to go through Africa.
Good point. But Soria Moria is a place you never reach. You have to keep chasing the sunset. Wakanda is in Africa. Yeah, Wakanda wins.
Now that's settled. Carry on.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to. It was just kind of funny.
The thing is when you look at just the placement of them using him as a character, like they never want to write about him and Wakanda anymore. They always try and shoehorn like American politics that he would never fucking care about.
Yeah.
In
Because that's where all the blacks are.
Obviously.
Sorry.
Let's not try and piss off the only black guy we have on the show, okay?
Yeah.
He's right.
They're doing this with their entire lineup, though. I mean,
Yeah.
Green Arrow, at least Green Arrow, there was something of a background storyline for that. But Black Panther, it's like
Black Panther wouldn't give a shit about American social justice, like, at all.
But he's black.
This is a
What do they do?
country that has the cure for cancer, but doesn't give it out because it just doesn't trust the rest of the world.
Yeah,
That's-
Yeah, that's
exactly.
actually a good point.
They complain about
I'm dead fucking
xenophobia and all this.
serious.
The Black Panther is literally the definition of xenophobia. He doesn't want anyone who doesn't want to join Wakanda in the society
He's-
in Wakanda.
He's
Look,
a
if you
nationalist. He's a very, very strict nationalist. He's the
if you wanted
Yeah.
to do Black Panther in some kind of contemporary story, have it with Wakanda with their own space program going up, and the Chinese decide to challenge them for lunar development rights,
That'd
and you
be
start
cool.
bringing up. He's like, yeah, I'm going to develop a lunar colony to get away from some of you people, and also to do some projects up there without interference. And it's like China's interfering. There's some sort of threat of possible war between the nations. It becomes an international incident, and superheroes have to go to Wakanda to deal with them.
And get
At least
wrecked,
that,
because
and
that's
get
how
wrecked.
Black Panther stories work.
yeah.
People go to
And then they get
Wakanda
their own-
and it
uninvited
winds up,
and get
they winds
fucked
up, they
up.
all have to negotiate something. But right off the bat, I mean, out of nowhere, at least there's a story. You're talking about upcoming Chinese space development. You're talking about the post-space race state of space development. You've got Wakanda, which is super technological with all kinds of
I
money
like
because
this
they got the
story.
resources.
You should be working for Marvel.
I wish
Yeah.
I would love to write for various established IPs because I can I'm not very good at coming up with original stuff, but I'm great at plugging things in from what already exists.
Yeah, I'm really good.
And that's what they need.
See, and that's the thing. Like, you can go into the politics of pretty much everything in comics and get away with it if you're confident enough to show both sides of the issue.
And if it's relevant to the characters involved.
Yeah, it's the whole Doctor Doom rules the planet thing. Like, Doctor Doom is an evil son of a bitch and a power-grabbing madman. But in the comics, the realities where Doctor Doom is in control of the Earth are the only times that the Earth is at peace.
Yeah.
And that's put in there to show that
and
things are a little more gray.
Yeah, and they could even use the Black Panther as a way of showing the good side of nationalism. As a way
that's the thing. They don't want to do that. That's why they keep him out of Wakanda. Because if you had Black Panther in Wakanda, you'd have an isolationist culture that's technologically advanced beyond pretty much anything on Earth, that's thriving, that's self-reliant, self-sufficient, and barely has any crime whatsoever. Wakanda is a utopia, but because it doesn't have the politics that they want, they can't show it without being upset.
Of course not. It's much easier just to bring him over to America, have black man in America to just go around complaining how oppressed he is or something. That's all they know. They don't actually know anything about African cultures.
No.
They don't know anything. They think it's rap music.
I don't listen to hip hop.
And white people only listen to country. That's all that the white people made the country, the black people made the hip hop. That's all they think.
They don't think that they don't know
Sweeping
that
generalization
it's
on my
been,
part, but still.
No, but it's been inspired by each other all the time, both sides. So it's idiotic. But,
well,
but
country came from the blues.
Yeah.
And
but the thing that I wanted to touch upon when it came to this entire Black Panther, and I said you could have shown the good side of nationalism, and you could even have him portray what the Black Lives Matter protesters actually want, which is a lot of them seemingly want to have this sort of black separatist state, which was what the Black Panthers wanted in the 60s and the 70s.
I think their main
Which was
that
was the original point of the comic.
The Black Lives Matter themselves consider themselves unduly and disproportionately targeted by police brutality, mainly because they have a problem with empathizing with other races, and they have a habit of excusing stuff in their own community. Like, so they don't see what has caused this response from the police.
And that's the thing about Black Panther that's so interesting is he generally looks at America as an annoyance and beneath him as a country. And somehow these writers think that black people in America aren't involved in that group.
And
when he routinely has had to go to war or had to smack down neighboring African countries that are usually on petty bullshit because they consider the Wakandans uppity for being such a successful country and not letting anybody else in.
Well, isn't that what they say about all the black people who leave the hood? That they're uppity? That
parallel was written on purpose.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because that's the friggin' truth. But they're afraid to actually talk about that issue because then they'd have to actually, be better.
Well, they wind up with situations like with Red Skull when people start going, yeah, he made some good points. No. He's parroting Trump. He's the bad guy. He's evil. It's like, well, no, that sounds legit.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I think if Wakanda is a good, successful country, as I'm assuming it is, who did they oppress to get that power? Hmm? Who did they oppress?
well, they sold
Yeah.
other black people into slavery.
No, that's the thing. The neighboring countries hate Wakanda because they want it to be a part of Wakanda and want Wakanda to help them, and
Okay.
they
so
want
they-
handouts from Wakanda, and the Black Panthers like, no, go fuck yourselves.
So it's channeling
seriously,
sort of sub-Saharan Africa.
So it's
towards
every
the
country in
States.
history.
If these
Yeah.
people were to do a real Black Panther comic in the vein that they do everything else, they
Black
would
Panther
make
would be
him
a
into
villain.
a villain. Yeah, they'd make him a villain.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Black Panther actually works really well as an anti-hero or as a bad guy in another hero's comic book, which is why I think they
That
should.
used to
He
be a
started out
classic.
as a villain in Fantastic Four. Remember?
That's
that,
right.
That used
That's
to
right.
be a classic method in comic book storytelling. You'd have people who were actually good guys wind up fighting each other over differences of opinion, different viewpoints.
Yeah. Which is exactly
And it's one of the reasons his
It
storyline
would
during
be a grey area.
his storyline with Storm was so good during Civil War because of that dynamic. Because here you want a group that wants to register all heroes and all heroes with abilities, and a group basically fighting against that and considering that, overstepping rights. But you
Yeah.
have this marriage between a woman who is a mutant, one of the most powerful mutants on the planet, who sees just a new form of mutant registration, and knowing how badly that went, and a extremely nationalist by the book hero who everybody knows their identity and doesn't want people to hide. He's for, during Civil War, he was for the registration, and Storm was against, and that was basically what broke up their marriage.
Oh yeah.
And
So it's basically their Brexit.
Yeah.
yes.
Hey.
See,
But that whole
Black
that was the thing.
Panther is
That
the
was good
EU.
writing.
Black Panther
That-
is the EU.
That oh god, no, their situation was so interesting because Civil War was happening, and it was a background trigger to basically start this conversation and go through the storyline, as opposed to it being shoehorned in. Because at the end of Civil War, it was gray.
It was.
Both groups were right.
I mean, it was ham-fisted at various points, but it was
Yeah.
the politics were organic to the story, not hey, we have politics we want to push. Let's make the story about that.
Yeah. You see, both sides basically had a chance to tell their story, and both had pros and cons, and they even used Peter Parker as basically a what if this actually happened, with Peter Parker revealing his identity,
Yeah.
because he's like, I'm Team Iron Man and I believe in this registration and it's right, and it ripping his life apart as every villain he's ever had to deal with comes hunting for him and kills off
Just like
Ned.
Harry Potter.
Oh
No,
no!
God, no, fuck you, Flippy.
Stop potterizing everything. You can knock it off.
But
Just
that's the
like a
thing,
monster
like
truck.
you can't do like why in the fuck is Black Panther in New York? He has ambassadors to do that shit for him. He's a fucking king. Like, it's annoying to keep a character that's one of the most powerful people on the planet, who is a part of the actual Marvel Illuminati, making fucking house calls.
Yeah, and the thing that I really like about Black Panther is the fact that his kingdom, it's really, Wakanda is small, and one of the reasons it works as a state is because it's small. So every Wakandan citizen has some sort of relationship to Black Panther, or to, I can't remember what he's called right now, but
T'Challa?
yeah, T'Challa. And they,
T'Challa.
yeah. What did I say?
You said
You said as an N.
Sorry.
T'Challa.
Inshallah. Sorry. But it demonstrates that rigid, orderly systems can work. It's a very, very good sort of mythological version of paradise. Wakanda
Yeah.
is, and he's the everlasting protector of paradise. And not everybody gets to go into paradise. Not everybody gets to be a part of that life. And you have to follow strict rules to be able to keep that going. And that's
And
one of
they
the reasons
even
why it resonates with people, I think.
and,
Just so
and
the
the thing
area
is they make everybody who is a Wakandan citizen love that country because
Yeah.
they force them to leave and see the rest of the world and then come back.
Yeah.
And the response is always, okay, the rest of the world is fucked up. We
It's
need to
kind of
protect this place.
like when the Amish send their kids into
Well,
society at large, or
Except a lot of them don't go back.
yeah. But the difference is that
I
they're in
I
a
would make it
highly developed
comparable
society.
to
Yeah,
Jen. A better comparison is to like say Spartans,
yeah.
What, gay?
because when T'Challa left out, he met
Oh.
Storm, as they were both children. But it's that kind of thing where it's all of them go out and see the world, realize, okay, the rest of the world does not work.
No.
I'm going home, and I'm going to protect this place because I know how messed up the rest of the world is.
I'm
Notice
just thinking
how
about the ancient
Artivous.
history. The ancient story of the Spartans is that in order to make them have sex with the women to breathe, they had to dress the women as blokes.
That is
They
that
showed you
is
women
I
no
don't think
that
it was
is
actually
that is apocryphal. That is not
Yeah.
the case. The thing is that a lot of people.
How do you know, Jan? Were you there? I was there, Jan.
No,
I was
you
there.
weren't. No, you weren't. That was some sort of
Flippy's an
weird
ancient
sex
homo.
party
We are
you
talking
had
about that.
last night.
No. We are talking about that nightclub in Birmingham, aren't we?
Yeah. That's the Spartans. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
See, I was right.
No, but it's I think that them scrapping BLM, the BLM comic, shows that there's a changing wind in corporations in
Because they're
general.
desperate. You've seen them making articles about begging people to buy their comics.
Yeah.
Please stick with us, please. Like they know they're fucked.
Well, this was the thing
And
when they pointed it out themselves, wasn't it? That like people don't want like the diverse comics and the moralizing.
oh
stuff.
yeah, they still took
And
shots at people
Yeah,
while
but
they're
then all
begging
the
people.
lefty press was like, "Oh, that's not the reason. Oh no, keep doing what you're doing. Keep tanking yourselves." Rah.
My favourite
Yeah.
one, it was like they said, well, the problem is that they don't want diversity and they don't want women. And Al Jazeera basically went, sorry, fanboys, that's not why. And it's like, the fanboys didn't say that. It was a comic executive that said that.
And I think that's not the only reason people left Marvel. I think there's some truth to
It's
what.
a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Think about this.
No.
Think about this
Let me finish. Let me finish. I think that one of the reasons people are leaving Marvel as a product is that it's not just the diversity ideological bullshit. It's also the event fatigue. It's constantly
Jesus Christ, yes.
resurrecting heroes, constantly not having finished a goddamn story arc and making it matter in the
That's
universe.
weird, isn't it?
I
When
think
killing off a character doesn't have any gravitas.
I stopped
I think-
reading comic books from both outfits. I used to read some of DC and some of Marvel religiously for a few books, and then it was just like, okay, this is the umpteenth time that a good storyline has ended up with some extremely stupid bullshit. My intelligence is built in
The
one
only
time.
time the storyline is allowed to end with extremely stupid bullshit is if the comic, on the front of the comic, it says Deadpool.
Let
Yeah.
finish
I
now.
think what they actually missed out on a huge marketing chance. You know, the Marvel films, they're kind of big, right? Did quite well.
Yeah.
A couple of million made here and there. And then they have all these characters, and they're like the classic versions of the big Marvel characters. They even made Iron Man big. Iron Man was never an A character before the film.
No, that's
Yeah.
true.
And then they have all this. They've got Iron Man, they've got Thor, they've got Captain America, they've got all these characters. They're now huge, so now the people can go look at the comics. Let's look at the comics, and this is not what's in the films at all. Sorry, bye. That was the biggest marketing faux pas they ever made.
Well, they've done.
See, if they were,
what's always
I was actually talking about this when the Marvel movies first came out. Is that Marvel comics, if they were smart, would have dropped and just ended the regular, Marvel universes and multiverses and whatnot, and made comics in between the movies and storylines in between the movies, and made a cinematic universe, comic universe.
Yeah, that is a very good point.
The problem with that would not have let them do all the ridiculous bullshit that they've done over the years in order to basically destroy every Marvel franchise they had in terms of comics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the movie as well. Went to see Guardians of the Galaxy 2 the other day. That was good.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
My biggest.
This is the thing that's been going on since at least the 80s and 90s, when Marvel and DC they started off when they were trying to do superhero movies before they actually kicked off. Their whole thing was, if we do this movie, it'll interest more people in coming into the stores to buy comics.
Yeah.
They kept trying to use the movies as a marketing device to promote the comics, and it never worked for exactly the reason you just mentioned, because the storyline that you have to do for a movie, it's a different medium. It's not the same as you get out of a comic.
Yeah, if you did a movie that was based on a comic,
the smartest thing that Marvel did was actually sort of disconnect the two properties from having to be reliant on each other.
Yeah.
Plip, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I was just saying another huge problem that I found. I've noticed this in comic books, and I've seen it a lot in quite a few TV shows now and then. And I mentioned it before, and it annoys me. There's always this moment when a character, and it's always a pretty major character, will suddenly stop talking and acting in character, then we'll just start spouting out the ideology of the writer.
Yeah.
It's such a break.
Yeah.
I will give you an example. A Netflix show, The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Pretty feminist show. Pretty much on the download throughout most of it. Until at one point, out the blue, all the random characters start talking about rape culture, and it's just, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
and the characters are now just spouting out statistics at each other, and now they've moved on.
Okay, I can promise everybody listening this. In my book, there is no one spouting out ideology. There's no mention of counterculture or
that's your job.
postmodernism.
But Jordan Peterson isn't it? Isn't it?
No, he's not.
Are we on to Jordan Peterson now?
Yeah. There was a thing actually.
There
show
was
being advertised at the moment. It was like a period drama, but it's called Jamestown. I don't know if you've seen the ads for it, but
Oh yeah, I have, yeah.
yeah,
I've seen the trailer.
I see the trailer, and it really looks like it's just going to be like moralizing as fuck. From the looks of it, it looks like some kind of backwoods western town where the blokes have lived without women for too long, and they've forgotten how to be chivalrous, and so they've ended up becoming misogynists, and now the women have to teach them a lesson by brutalizing them.
Yeah.
That's me putting the two and two together from the adverts, but it looks like it's going to be really ham-fisted.
We need to move on because we spent almost 30
It
minutes.
couldn't possibly be as ham-fisted as Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah. That's true.
It gets me when I was watching.
God damn it, Deef!
I have a point. Fuck you. I was watching bits of Orange Is the New Black, and I came to a conclusion that people who write for telly cannot write good women haters because they've never met one.
Yeah.
It's never subtle. It's always so out of the blue. It's like, I hate women. Well, that's a good point of your character. Yeah, that's your one dimension.
Yeah.
Bravo.
They make Tails pregnant again.
Yeah. They make the bad guys. They don't make them foils of the main character. They make them. They make them basically as one dimension.
Bags.
Yeah, they're cartoonish, and that's why it doesn't work.
The way that's the funny thing about Orange Is the New Black is Caputo is the one character that has every reason in the world to hate women.
Yeah.
And he's still the only one that wants to protect them.
Yeah, it's like the staff and the heads management team and stuff is always, well, they're only women. They're not going to revolt or do any damage, are they? I was like,
So
you've
you
never
know
actually
these
met a
women are
real.
crazy, right?
Yeah, you never met a real woman hater, have you? Because they're so much more subtle than you can actually write.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good point, Omagus. Like, it's that rare to actually meet someone who genuinely hates women these days. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, and the thing is, you can't not know women and hate women. You have to know them for a while. Then you know to hate them.
And then you don't hate women as
If it's not
as
as
a
a
whole.
collective,
You hate
yeah.
that woman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
Anita.
Let's move on from people who've left the gaming sphere to other people who might leave the gaming sphere. That is, BioWare Canada has just announced that they're closing their doors.
Well,
Good riddance.
they are going to sleep. They are on hold for a while.
Yeah, going to sleep is a euphemism,
We're
dude.
telling the company.
when you're at EA and you are a company owned by EA, they
And you're no
basically
longer
You
getting
are
any
an
work.
bitch who likes
Yeah,
You're
bananas.
gone.
You're not
it's
going
basically
dead.
EA telling you to go commit seppuku. Like that's what.
The
I
official term
believe
is
that-
the official
I
term
believe
was
there's
on
a
hold.
chance of a company coming back when Bullfrog makes another game. Until then,
Well, this is the thing.
Yeah.
How little faith did they have that, like, they screwed up Mass Effect 3 bad? You know, they had the ending that dictated the game. Is you had the pay-to-play
Yeah.
multiplayer stuff and microtransactions. They were the birth of microtransactions as Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
So basically, it's like, right, we've got a shambolic corpse of a franchise here. Let's just outsource it to the fucking hipsters over in Montreal. It was like, well, no, lightning didn't strike 1.5 times. Let's just kill the fucker off.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
That's how
it's not that
AI.
surprising,
That's how
really.
EA does every franchise. It always buys companies to
can't-
get those franchises, and
And
always
if they
does the
can't
same thing.
guarantee a return of investment, they're just like,
Exactly.
Well,
Okay.
this was the case, for example, for Red Alert. I did an article, a long retrospective article for Red
Rip
Alert.
Westwood. Rip.
Yeah, Westwood Studios. They bought out Westwood Studios, and as soon as they did, it's like the last thing that Westwood Studios punched out before they finally got rid of all the original employees. EA ultimately replaced all of their employees. Was General Zero Hour, and in each of the 3 lines for Command and Conquer, for Red Alert, the original Command and Conquer, and for 0 Hour, each of the last 3 products that they have were rated in the 60s.
Yeah.
And those were the last products. It's like it's like EA has this as a marker. If you don't break 70, we kill the franchise.
Aye.
Yeah, and
I think
and it
the problem is that they keep putting too many eggs in too many baskets, because a game could actually do quite well, but because they've had so many massive financial flops elsewhere, because they put all their eggs in several baskets, and if not all the eggs hatch, that basically makes you even worse. For example, it was like when Syndicate did okay, I think, but Assassin's Creed. It was Assassin's Creed.
Unity.
Assassin's Creed, yes. Yeah. It actually did okay, but it had so many other bombs that the expectations for that was even higher, because it had to make up for all these other bombs.
Yeah.
And it did quite well, but because it had all the others, like gravity of everything else sucking it down, that was going to be a massive flop.
Yeah.
Of course, it wasn't good from people tell me, but you know.
Yeah, it's a good point, and Omegas also mentioned something that I think you could actually combine with what you said. Not to mention the outright pretension of the writers or from the writers, and I think that's a problem, because we touched on it during our BLM comic discussion as well. I think those writers are trying to tell too many things at once. They're trying to highlight all the oppression that they think exists in the world.
I wouldn't have think the writing would have really mattered with that game, with the buggy, clunky mess that it was. They could have had an amazing storyline in Andromeda.
It just wouldn't be told well.
Wouldn't be told well, because the game is a dumpster fire of epic proportions of
That's
just
it.
not
Yeah,
polishing the
and they
most
say
basic aspects
yeah.
of the just game in general.
And they're
And
basically
that
a lot of people
speaks.
will say that the best. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. The best games are the ones that meld the story and the gameplay together, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, it's
yeah,
like
there's
it's
barriers
like,
on that both
Well,
sides.
Mass Effect is.
The story can suck a fat chode.
well, one of
And
the
at the same time,
classic
you have a story that sucks, and the story that's great, and the mechanics just don't convey it well, or just throw
Well,
you
Mass
out of the
Effect has
experience.
always had this weird disconnect between story and gameplay. The gameplay feels like a different game than
Because it was
going through the story.
sci-fi tint kind of thing.
Yeah, and so you always like there's always been that disconnect, but because the story was good at
You
one
can ignore it.
time, people really didn't see just how separate they were. You can't
well,
suck on both fronts.
Right.
get
And
this though.
it
I
screams of a
think
studio
no.
that was basically put together
Yeah.
by EA to fill positions to basically replace the people that left because they knew they weren't going to be able to do what they wanted, and they knew that the money wasn't coming, and they knew how EA works. And this,
I got to do a quick comparison here, though.
Yeah.
On that, you got Bethesda, which comes out with Fallout games on a regular basis, and they're glitchy as hell because they're open sandbox games, and they cannot script for every possible thing that happens. A lot of the times, you'll get these weird, buggy. It's like, wow, that was screwball, that was crazy, because they don't have the people to playtest for every single possible thing that could happen in the game because it's freeform.
Yeah.
But Mass Effect has no damn excuse when you have scripted events that do the same thing.
yeah,
The thing is that Bethesda stuff, like they rely so much on the mod community as well. Is that I think if they ever put out a game with no bugs, the mod community will just get bored.
And will. Yeah.
That would be a tragedy for Bethesda if they ever put out a game without any bugs.
And also, I think Mass Effect Andromeda has the same problem as I was saying before with the comic books, in that quite often, there's just parts where characters just start spouting out the ideology of a specific people because they have one, and the Asari are a race of one gender. The Asari are one gender. The only reason they have a concept of genders is because they met other races, and they're talking about pronouns of he, him, zim, and stuff in the background. You've got a trans character who turns up and immediately starts talking about the fact they're trans and bring up a former name.
remember when we used to joke about me basically starting conversations with, "Hi, I'm black.
Tell me about your blackness."
That's
Wow,
he shouldn't talk about his penis in the first conversation he has. He can't talk about his blackness everywhere.
No. My penis is called the Darkness.
Oh, sorry.
Apparently, it causes PTSD problems in my sex partners, but never mind.
Yeah. Well, there is a point about them. I think the problem is here with the writers, especially, is that they're trying to tell too much stuff, so it becomes this sort of tirade of ideological bullshit. But they also think that the people who play the games are fucking retarded, are stupid. They
think it's the same.
Yeah.
They think it's the same thing that Jonathan McIntosh thinks. They say, I like this media, I will consume it. It's giving me a message. I have now taken that message on. That's what they think happens. That's why that stuff is in there.
Yeah.
They think people are going to automatically just sort of take it in and go, oh, yes.
They don't realize that people are far more sophisticated than that. They are cultural beings. They don't like to be lectured.
They don't understand entertainment. They don't understand entertainment.
Exactly.
They understand a college lecture.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not even that.
Yeah, No. He's hit the nail on the head because every single thing that they involve in and get involved in terms of writing is like that. It's them not trying to make entertainment. It's them trying to lecture like they're a college
their college professor. Yeah, this is how they learned it. They figure that's how they pass it on.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. I know that America is a little different than my civilized country, so I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right, but I wouldn't say that the college lectures I have seen from American professors have been as preachy as some of these writers are. But I still,
Oh, no, no,
many of them are
no.
social justice
Let,
lectures.
let me finish. But I do think you're right. I do think you're right. I'm just
Dude,
as a
okay,
general rule.
Jan. All right, and this is at a graphic design school.
Yeah.
Nothing about that says politics in any way possible. I literally had a professor sit up and give what was amounts to a 25-minute lecture about how crappy the assignments she was getting were, and that went into a 20-minute tirade about how don't you want something better for your life? Don't you want to make the world better? Don't you like this?
Yeah.
It's a fucking design school.
Yeah.
Wait, I had
No,
a
they can get just as
yeah.
yeah.
You
I
know,
had a
But
you
creative
know,
writing-
I blame for
It's
this.
not. Go ahead.
I had a
Postmodernist.
yeah.
I had an illustration professor that refused to talk about comics or manga because he was so pretentious and didn't consider them real art.
That was
Oh,
a mate
yeah.
of mine.
I had a
No, and
creative writing lecturer.
he did this
who,
entire class on illustration where he lectured every single week about particular art styles and basically as postmodern as you could possibly fucking get.
Yeah.
And he literally talked about Marvel Comics for 5 minutes.
wow.
Yeah, so these people cannot package their ideas or their viewpoints in an organic sense that just goes with the story where a trans character just happens to be trans and it's important in some way to the plot.
Or it's not important, which would be what you want them to say.
Yeah.
Imagine
I'm
for a moment.
trans.
Imagine that you actually have a
Would you
story where
like to
you've got
buy?
no.
No,
Let's
it's
look-
hi, I'm trans. Would you like to buy a potion?
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
Pretty much what they do. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking
imagine
of
though.
Andromeda.
Imagine that you have something like an Asari who meets another alien race that also doesn't understand genders, and because the trans person's personal experiences, they're actually able to get a dialogue going between them that isn't forced. And just it's like, hey, here's some understanding. It's like, oh, okay, I get it.
I'd like your strongest potion, Zer
Potion
Potion Maker.
I think the oddest thing was in Mass Effect 3 when you meet a character. It's like, hi, I'm going to be, I'm your engineer. It's like, hi, how you doing? Well, I'm doing pretty good. I got stationed here because I was with my husband before, but now I'm here.
Because I was
Odd detail, but okay, let's go with it. You know, I was talking about my husband the other day, and it was just like, yeah, you're the one who seems to keep bringing up your marital status. No one else seems to. Okay. Yeah, all right, let's go.
He's
Okay.
Yeah, I get it. Right?
They did that on Andromeda. It was like, I'm here because no one accepted me. I used to be called Stephen.
Yeah,
On
we talked about that
Andromeda.
earlier. Yeah, we were just talking about that.
While I was in the loop. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were talking about bad lecturers. I had a creative writing tutor who used to love using his own poems as examples of good writing.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Perfection. Oh,
Like, fair enough, they were
imagine...
okay poems, but
No, but
you can't be
imagine the
bigoted. It's
gall.
current galaxy.
I wouldn't even think
Dude,
of using my own
whenever
book,
there is
which
any
is out
type
for
of
sale
creative-
right now on Amazon.com.
Oh my god. Whenever there is a
links are in the
creative,
description down below. Anyways,
yeah,
but
it speaks to a real
every time there is a creative platform and you
Yeah.
have a professor doing
Yeah.
that, there's always that one professor that has to shill their stuff and hold themselves
Well,
as the ultimate example of what's good and
thing
everything
is,
else is bad, and it's like, come on,
we
dude.
had our two lecturers for creative writing were basically just there to get paid while they were writing their own stuff, basically. So they'd write novels and stuff instead of doing research and things for their own things. Like, one of them kind of had a pet project. He was looking into the sort of the poetic. He was seeing if there was a poetic formula for song lyrics, which is a fairly noble.
yeah,
thing.
that's
But
a
it
cool
was-
fucking thing.
But it was second fiddle to just writing his own stuff, and then teaching was just an afterthought, you know. is what they got paid for. But it's
Everybody who's
so
trying to get
far
their
down the
master's
fucking
degree is
list.
like that. No, seriously, like because
They
you
were,
have
no,
to.
these were accomplished poets and stuff, really into the sort of the circuit in like where I went to uni and things like that. But oh man, they were so pretentious. Like if you didn't write stuff, like they were big on the show don't tell stuff. So if you said, if you wrote any sort of poetry that was like pastiche or something, it's like yeah, but it's not showing, but it's telling instead of showing. Therefore, I'm marking it down. It's like fuck's sake, you know. Like they couldn't get out of their own mindset of what makes it good.
Well, that's the problem is that they don't teach. If they teach on the basis of their own material, they're not teaching technique. They're teaching what they consider
How
to be
them,
great.
yeah.
And often the people who actually do that are people who may not be as successful, so they try to push it on people who are impressionable.
I really wish I had an old piece I submitted at uni because I was really proud of it as well. But it's on an old laptop that I think has crashed since. I rewrote A Christmas Carol in the style of a Greek tragedy. So basically, something keeps
Nice.
Oh yeah, to fuck him over basically. Something is interfering with the ghosts trying to teach him a lesson, but they get sort of silenced by something. So he plays out in a ignore that.
Talking about ghosts.
I heard Greek and someone interfering with ghosts, and I immediately went back to our Spartan conversation earlier.
Yeah, true. But I wrote the intro because like they say all Greek tragedies have got this prologue where they write like, it's a summary in song, and they have this sort of dance movements that so. A Christmas Carol is in sort of industrial Victorian London, so I was basically describing like the smoke and everything coming out of old London town in this sort of style and describing like how it was going to go down and all this shit. And he just cut it. It's like, there's no action here. Just get rid of it. I was like, for fuck's sake, you didn't even get what I was trying to do, did you?
Establishing moment. This is an establishing moment for crying out loud.
If I was trying to adhere to the tenets of Greek tragedy, and then like you've got to have a prologue then. So but no, he was just like, this isn't showing. This isn't telling. Oh, this isn't showing.
Show not tell.
Telling. Like,
that's a big thing. I believe that in theatre, it's more important to show not tell. It always has been, always will be more better to tell them, show them what's going on, as opposed to just tell them. Because I have seen plays where you see one thing and they tell you another, and you go, "No, it was intentional. It's just shit."
Yeah,
but how in writing do you not tell? I hate to be literal here, but how in writing can you not tell?
I actually just ran into that. Believe it or not, it is a problem even in writing.
Oh yeah.
I picked up the Rowan RPG system, and the person who wrote this apparently it's their first outing. They seem to. This is a hardcover book that's now out for sale of an actual role-playing game. Okay,
cool.
So you would it's like first foot forward. You want to get it out there and get it good.
Yep.
They set the scene like you're essentially forced into a tavern, and the idea is that this is how we're going to show you how the game works. This is here's the different races. Here's attributes. But he's telling you, it's like you see a Kelpie. I don't know what a Kelpie is. Describe it to me.
Yeah, it's a word.
And here's a nocturne. Okay, that tells me nothing.
Yeah, refer to this page to see what the fuck a Kelpie or a nocturne is. Or do you not even get that?
Yeah, the whole thing is kind of like this reads like a fanfic where you expect the reader already to be familiar with your stuff.
Yeah.
What the fuck is a water kill? Like the shape-shifting water spirit? What the fuck's that doing in a tavern anyway?
It's actually one of the races of the game.
anyways, going
out,
from one fantasy realm to another, the people who thought they could arrange a high-level festival on an island without any sort of organization whatsoever. We haven't talked about this shit
I've been
at
waiting
all.
to talk about this on the show for too long.
Too much stuff has happened, and I've been away, and I just finished my book. So now we're getting to the Fire Festival. Fine.
All right.
$100 million lawsuit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, which one? There's multiple.
Oh, that was just the first one I heard of.
Yeah, they're suing the Instagram models too.
What? Oh God.
Wait.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me tell you the grand story of the Fire Festival. Thank you, Deefry. Thank you. I needed that. That was
I'll get the
appropriate.
guitar.
I'm gonna sit down and roast marshmallows for this one.
All right. Basically, a bunch of drunken, high fucking, rich fucking frat boys that have trust funds for their parents decided, you know what? Coachella isn't pretentious enough. Let's do our own shit. And so basically, they go out here with this premise that we're going to have a music festival on this private island, and only the people who can afford it can show up. Nothing could possibly go wrong. But none of these idiots know basic business management whatsoever. So they have this date in the distance of when this festival is going to happen. But they
The
have
Ballad of the Fire Festival.
they have absolutely no talent in terms of actually organizing it and getting things done. What in the hell?
It's giving you melodic accompaniment.
I like it. I just want it to be a little lower.
It needs to be a bit more mournful. It needs to be more
Oh,
mournful.
you want me to
Yeah.
drop D? Like,
Yeah. There we go.
No, not quite, not quite.
No, I like it. No, I'm rolling with it. So they decide that instead of actually getting this shit done, let's work on a commercial and advertising.
Yeah.
And those are
and
the
let's
only
get Ja
people that
Rule
get
to
paid.
promote it.
The people who were the advertising were the only people in all of this that got paid at all.
Yeah.
So they do this pretentious ass fucking commercial. They start hiring Instagram models to say that they're going to show up. The Instagram models don't show up, by the way.
No, of course, because they got
And they get
Instagramming
people
stuff to do.
They get people to pay thousands of dollars to come to this shitty festival headlined by Ja Rule and Blink 182. I have to stop there for just a second. Who in the fuck pays more than $5 to see Ja Rule or Blink fucking 182? Like, seriously, I wouldn't see that shit for free. You might have to pay me.
Well, back in the day, I would have, but not anymore.
No, there is never a time where I don't get asked.
I can get Ja Rule, okay? I can get Ja Rule.
No, you
I
cannot
can't.
get Ja Rule. What would I do without you?
Okay.
No, fuck that shit. That dude has always been a joke.
Well, if we pull our money together, we could definitely get Jesus Christ.
Better accommodations in the Pride Festival.
Look, I would rather have Ray Stevens, okay? Fucking Ray Stevens.
I bet my ass if we pull
down.
our money together, we could get Little Bow Wow to show up on the
Jimmy
podcast because he's broke.
Get goddamn Jimmy Buffett.
No, all of this is going through, right? All of this is happening. People are thinking that this is an actual thing. At the meantime, the entire island, like, is a disaster area for actually getting this done. There's no money to actually get anything organized. They freaking basically used FEMA tents and mattresses and just plop them on a beach. Some of them had blood on them, for fucking crying out loud.
They got them from the Haiti.
They got them from the Haiti freaking. So basically,
hand-me-down
The food looked amazing.
Now here's the thing. Everybody who paid money to go to this thinks nothing is wrong and has no idea that things have gone south whatsoever because they're a bunch of freaking trust fund kids that don't actually look into things. Which is why it's so hilarious when they show up and are given a FEMA tent and a sad cheese sandwich with a sad salad. And when I mean cheese sandwich, I mean 2 slices of bread and 2 Velveeta singles, baby.
19 grand, everyone. 19 grand.
19 fucking grand for a cheese sandwich and a sad salad. Some of these people paid $250,000 to be here for their particular package. Cheese sandwich and a sad salad.
Oh God, rich
They get
kids
to the
don't
island.
know how to fucking do festivals. Jesus fucking Christ.
No, they get to the
Someday-
they get to the island and they realize, well, something's not quite off because they bust them to the beach to where these FEMA tents are.
Yeah.
So they're freaking out because there's no food.
Well, they're freaking out because there's no valet. That's what they're really freaking out about.
Yeah, there's no organized, there's no security whatsoever. People are getting robbed. Like
What?
people are acting like it's the end of the world, but they're just being poor for about
They're
2
happy to
days.
see their robbers because they think they might know a way off the island.
Exactly. They
No,
might
well,
have more
that's-
Chex Mix,
This is
which
part
was
of the
an
problem.
actual thing. They were rationing out the Chex Mix because they were worried about
Oh,
food.
jeez.
This was not a private island, though. That's the thing. One of the pitch things
No.
was like, this is a private island,
Yeah.
formerly owned by Pablo Escobar or whatever the hell. And it's actually a resort island. And the good part of the island is owned entirely by the resort. Everything else is shit. And if you saw the commercial, 90% of the commercial, I watched the whole thing.
Was on the surrounding islands.
Yeah, it's not only that, but it's about swimming. It's about, hey, look at all these things you can do in the water.
But
The water's great.
The waters
But
around
the
that place are
actual-
shark infested.
Yes, they're shark infested. Even the resort people. Even the resort has to have like nets up to allow people to go into the water.
Jesus Christ, this is
Yeah.
just getting
So
better.
they get here, it's a complete disaster. All of these rich kids are freaking out, which is hilarious for all of us to watch because, haha, y'all got tricked. And they're complaining and whining about how horrible the conditions are to people that probably have conditions that are just as bad in real life. Like, you still have more money. Like, there were people complaining that they got stuck in Miami. Oh, I feel so sorry for you that you're stuck in fucking beautiful fucking Miami. Oh,
Worst
so
place on the
horrible.
planet. Miami.
Yeah, and so they
Iraq?
try to escape. All right, they leave the weed behind. That's a common thing. For some reason, everybody just left their weed behind,
Oh, good of them.
and so they
Leave something
try
behind
and they
for their
try
next
and
ones.
they try and book up the hotels, but the hotels fill super quickly. They try and leave out, but because so many people are trying to leave out the country, they basically shut off all travel so nobody can leave because it's a red flag that so many people are trying to get out of someplace. And so they're stuck there, overnight and wallowing in the misery about how horrible everything is while the rest of us laugh.
And people are tweeting about, does anybody know how to make handmade weapons?
Yeah.
They're
It's
talking
turning
about
into
forming a
fucking
militia and shit.
it's turning into like
Oh,
Lord
God.
of the Flies on this fucking island with these people because they have no survival skills and they're without their cash and money to protect them. And
We
so
could have
the-
gone there and made bank, guys.
Yeah.
Just turn up with a porta potty, say one blowy each, and we have to say who we get to turn away as well.
I have a crate
We
of
could have
granola
sold
bars
bologna
right here.
sandwiches, man.
Crate
But
of
the thing
granola
is
bars
Clip
and buttered
always
milk.
wants to make
But-
Fire Festival into Fire Island.
Oh no,
Oh, yeah.
dude, people, it gets better. Okay. This is when the details of the people who worked on this thing start leaking out. The hilarious articles, the oh yeah, we knew it was going to be fucked up stories start happening about Ja Rule giving toasts about, let's fuck like porn stars and live like rock stars and shit as he
Yeah, I
goes
saw the
back
guy
to
who
his
pulled out.
immaculate boat that's far away from all of this. Like all of the talent being like, yeah, we canceled and we're not going because they didn't pay us. They didn't make anybody sign a non-disclosure agreement. So it's a typhoon of everybody explaining just how fucked up this was for the workers for months, and nobody really said shit.
Yeah.
Just waited for the explosion to happen because they didn't get paid.
It's like a funny version of the Titanic.
Well,
Yeah.
did you see the
No,
article?
it is
I think it was
literally
in Vanity Fair.
verbatim the story for Scooby-Doo Spooky Island.
Did you see that article by the guy that they got apparently to work PR and work with the bands?
Is
Oh,
he the one who
no.
dropped out after,
Yes, this was a great piece because he tells the entire
Yeah.
thing from the inside, and he never went to the island himself. He was the guy who was supposed to be actually coordinating with like Blink 182 and the other managers. And he's like, yeah, they keep saying they want their money, and I keep getting told, oh, well, it's, we're working things out, and they're putting it off, and then they start canceling. And it's like, yeah, right about this time, about 90% of even the PR people got laid off, and I was told that I was put on half pay. And by the way, I'm able to tell all this stuff because they didn't bother giving us an NDA.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the common thing is like none of them signed a non-disclosure agreement. And what's funny is you're hearing about the employees that still work for it, and like the actual phone conversation comes out. It's like you're not firing us, but you're not paying us, so we'll quit, so you don't have to give us unemployment and benefits.
worst business people ever.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're gonna be legends, bro. Is a direct quote.
Yeah,
we're gonna get
people organizing this bullshit.
Well, they are legends.
What made
just not in the way they thought they were.
Yeah, that thingy, the fact that it's a resort that stays on one side of the island, they probably did so to avoid the wild boars that inhabit
and the wild dogs.
Yeah.
It's actually just down the beach, and where they put the tent city was in a gravel pit because the gravel pit was there because of leftover construction from the resort.
Oh, the Wu-Tang Clan was there?
So they're literally
if only
they're seriously and actually setting the whole thing up in the leftovers of a real resort.
What really made me laugh was one of the tweets came out that when Fire Festival was trending with people going, "Oh my god, it's like Lord of the Flies here," that someone collected a bunch of the tweets and basically said, well, this is what libertarianism looks like.
Welcome to ANCAP reality.
No, it's like, when you think about it, it's not really anarcho-gay, it's more like anarcho-primitivism.
And so the rich kids, and so basically the rich kids finally get home, and then you knew it was going to happen. The lawsuits start coming out.
Yeah,
John Roll is like trying to say it's not my fault, dog. I didn't know how it was going to, but he knows he's the fall guy because he was the dude headlining the entire thing and the business partner and getting it set, and he knows like he's liable for all of this shit.
And they've already spent the money on boats and cars and shit.
Yeah,
like they've spent all the money on frivolous shit for themselves.
Oh my!
But they still have to give the They still have to give the refunds to the people who went.
Yeah,
which is why they aren't paying their employees that worked.
Yeah, that's just.
No, they actually don't have to. They don't. It's in the agreement that there are no refunds.
Jesus,
that's up front, and that's somebody just
no. John Rule said everybody was getting a refund.
No, he claimed that, and then he later said that.
Did he? He rolled that back.
Yeah, he rolled that back and said that we're just giving people like who are supposed to be their free tickets for next year.
Yeah, like anyone's gonna show up to that.
Yeah, I know who will survive.
People will.
Yeah, people will. People will show up for it. Survivalists will show up for it.
Yeah. Now the Instagram models that
guy
aren't
T
at fault
will show up for it.
are getting sued.
Yeah, seriously.
And I think that audio recording of literally the head guy, Ja Rule's partner, basically trying to sham people and trying to get them to quit. So they don't have to pay benefits is probably one of the funniest fucking things ever, because she calls them out on the phone call and it's like, because I guess he assumed they were fucking stupid.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. Roy, did you say that guy T's going to be there next year? Is he going to try and turn the island into an anarcho?
It was me.
It would be honest. It would be honestly amazing if they tried to pull that shit. If like people deliberately went out there
to film that shit.
People deliberately went out there to mount a coup.
Anyone with basic survival / capitalistic skills will be running that place within 20 minutes. This is why we should go, because there's going to be a bunch of idiots go last year. He goes, yeah,
we already have a stand selling wild boar steaks.
Yeah, no, we basically going to be able to go, well, the Fire Festival, I heard that was really big last year. Yeah, Adriana Grande went there. Oh, sweet, we should go.
No, it's a shark-infested island, and I know how to hunt sharks.
Yes, and
We
can have a whole
sell
stand.
shark steaks.
We have a black man in Rasta. We have an Australian. We're safe. We're safe.
With laser beam.
Is that legal to hunt sharks in America?
Huh?
Is it legal to hunt sharks in America?
It depends on where you do it.
They have to be classified as vermin.
Desperate.
Yeah, they have to be considered dangerous. It's kind of like a population control.
I kind of
thing.
want to come visit you guys and you just teach me how to shark hunt. That sounds
legal
fun.
to do it in Australia too.
There's
but you're a longer plane ride. So
there's the boat way to do it, and then there's the man way to do it. But the man way to do it requires you to kill smaller sharks.
Well, and then
you don't go out there and like fight with Jaws or bullshit.
Out there and get into a fist fight with Jaws.
What's the fun?
Like that one guy. That one guy wanted to impress his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Just go out there.
That was an option.
Desperate, slutty, drunk, rich girls. You could be running a brothel.
We had a guy in the UK jumped into a lion enclosure with a medium-sized chicken.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? The next week, you joke about that, but the next week, someone else did the same thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, thinking that's not how you do it. Is how you do it.
Yeah.
Step back, guys. I got this.
I don't mean a live chicken either. I mean like one from Tesco.
That's the king of hold my beer moments.
Yeah. Just like these lions look hungry. Da, da, da.
I'm
gonna give him this chicken.
I forget. I think it was Phil Jupiter's. He joked about it at the time.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah.
He's like, food, and he's brought a starter.
I love that. I do love that bit.
Yeah.
But no, like Fry Festival's going to be just. I thought it was just going to be like a flash of the pan, like maybe a week and a half thing. But more stuff keeps coming out, and it just keeps keeps getting funnier and funnier. Yeah. I want to know what's going to happen to Ja Rule, because this is the fun. There's nothing that there's no way it's not going to be funny.
Look, if he's smart, he will sell the movie rights to this shit and at least recoup some of his money. Yeah.
That's true.
Oh God, yes.
No,
somebody,
some rich kid has already done that. I bet my ass. Some person, some very industrious person, just figured out. Fuck it. This is gonna make me rich.
Because this whole thing reads like a National Lampoon's fucking movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a Del Boy kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's the so if Del Boy had to put on a festival.
Anyways, the next thing we could go from one flame war to another flame war, which is Lacey Green has started to hang out with Chris Reagan and people, and not us, but people are not happy.
Yeah, and then the segues of doom.
Yes.
Jen has to have one really bad segue every episode. It's the law.
What I do. It's what I do. You know this.
I'm just in one of those moments where I've got the popcorn out and I know I'm going to need a restock.
Yeah.
Okay. For the people who are listening and have no idea what in the fuck we're talking about, Lacey Green is one of those super feminists that made her entire career about talking about feminist issues for the most part. She originally was a sex educational kind of thing.
She was atheist YouTube originally.
Yeah.
Then she lost a really easy debate to Venom Fang X, and then shifted careers.
Yeah, she does this regularly, so that's why this whole shift isn't all that surprising. But her brand is always she was most successful, with the internet and intersectional feminist BS kind of crowd where direct quote is everything is problematic.
Well, she was actually,
And-
strictly speaking, she was a boob tuber to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is. She's a bubbly personality type who likes pitching whatever she's talking about as "Hi, I'm upbeat and smiling and
Yeah.
and she's got a good personality for the camera. She does.
Roy,
Everyone-
just
everyone
admit
was
that you fap to her, okay, and then we can
Yes,
move on.
admit
Who
it.
doesn't?
I
Not yet.
Not me. Not me. I've never had it.
Look, you've
Looking
got to
in
let
your
your
life,
tribalism
but-
get away from you so that you can just have a
Yeah.
good time.
No,
if
I'm
you
saying
had
there
to
are
one
better
of the
bubbly
ideas.
blondes that I fap to. I'm talking about having standards to what you rub your dick to. Okay,
Oh,
Just
yeah.
saying,
I think it's
yeah.
I just
it's important.
No, seriously though, she's photogenic. She has a good voice. She sounds good.
what interests me.
And
is
if
that
you
we don't
she could pitch anything with that.
Well, yeah, that was kind of the point. She got hired for MTV to do shit for them and all this stuff, and
we could use it.
and then she started to freak out last year and basically attack, and try and get people's channels basically shut down for disagreeing with her.
DMCA's. Yeah.
and that's my only problem with her.
Yeah, it was the response to the 2% false accusations statistic, if I remember rightly, that was main thing. Most people responding to that ended up with the DMCA.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
don't forget the textbook fascism tweet when her first tweet was the election, which was we can all come together and heal as one, no matter the result. She said, thinking Hillary was going to win. And then all of a sudden, next day, textbook fascism, textbook fascism.
Well, we've seen that a lot.
Fuck you, fuck America, fuck white America. I'm like, bitch, you are pale as shit. There's no color in you. What in the fuck are you talking about?
We talk a lot about like the cult mentality. So fair enough if she just want to escape the. What gets me is like I really hope she is leaving the cult for the right reasons. Because there are some. Obviously, we've seen it on our side is that there has been like people leaving the sort of the skeptic anti-SJW and then joining the other side and becoming really evangelical about it. Sure. But because of being burned by a specific member of the group. So what I want to know is like, I don't think, or at least it hasn't come out yet, that Green had a specific disagreement with someone in her original community that caused her to come over to this side, as it were, to defend, as it were.
I think it
wanna
was the
make
money, to be
comparison.
perfectly honest.
When Ian Miles Chong decided to get out of that shit, he came out and apologized.
Yeah, that was the first thing he did.
Apologized and said,
Yeah.
"Look, I'm sorry for all the things I said about everyone." And he didn't go into specific. He just made a general apology, like, if I've done something wrong, I'm sorry about it. She hasn't done that. She hasn't been
if she had come out,
anyone.
if she had come out instantly, if she had come out from the start,
hasn't. That's true.
If she had come out from the start, no. If she had come out from the start with an apology, I would believe some of the things she's saying in terms of
but
opening herself up to things. But she has jumped ship in terms of what she covers over the years.
Yeah.
Let me.
As soon as whatever she's basically shilling in order to survive on her YouTube channel or in her endorsements or whatever, becomes slightly unpopular or starts to show cracks in the armor, she moves on to the next thing. So that's, in my opinion, that's all this is. Because
there's been a lot of people sort of making good. I'm not saying that they're not good points, but there is one thing that we keep on ignoring. She has been hanging out with Chris Reagan and that crowd.
That's because Chris Reagan.
No. Let me finish. Let me finish.
One we know about.
That's because she wants to fuck Chris Reagan.
Yeah, probably.
Of course, you wouldn't.
Okay, but let me fucking finish. Okay. The thing is that I don't think to sort of give her probably the benefit of the doubt this far. Maybe we could do that because I don't think that she.
I'm not.
If she's doing it for the money, she at least has a fucking a bit of an awareness of what's going on around her.
I'm not saying she could not be genuine. I'm saying it's most likely she's not being genuine. And if that apology does come for some of her attitudes, some of the things she said, some of the way she's acted, then that door is open. And that door is open until she shows me something where
let's not forget Ian Miles Chung didn't apologize at first. He
had me blocked.
Yeah.
Like Ian Miles Chung had me blocked. He had me blocked on Twitter. And like I called his bluff because I didn't that apology came out and I was like, okay. And I didn't really believe it until I said, well, can you ask him to unblock me? And he did.
Yeah.
He went in and he manually unblocked me himself, which is something he didn't have to do. I had openly insulted him for about a year.
Yeah, he did unblock pretty much. He unblocked me just as a matter of course. I didn't have to ask him. He just unblocked me.
Yeah, but it was during the first day, and I called his bluff, and he said that his cards down on the table, and I was like, "Okay, I'm willing to work with you on this. Let's show me what you got." But she isn't doing that yet. It's almost like
she's only.
No. Here's the thing. She's going to release a video soon, and I'm willing to bet money on it. She's going to release a video soon about how all these people are attacking her, and she's the poor victim, and oh my God, help, and everyone's turning their backs on me, and here's my Patreon.
We will see, because unlike the social justice crowd, she said incredibly stupid, ignorant shit, which I think was not good for an educator. Quote unquote. Notice the bunny rabbit ears here. Educator. She didn't go full in with the kill all men kind of stuff.
No, she's always been a sex positive feminist, even though she.
But it was.
She never went.
Let Plipp finish.
She went into the whole stupid pseudoscience of it, Bill Nye, and Shem. I don't want to gender Lacey Green here. Z. Said did really, really bad science and bizarre comments like stereotypes are bad. It's like stereotypes aren't good or bad. They are just what they are. Stereotypes.
Yeah. Literally
okay, for
everything and everyone is problematic.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get down to the brass tacks here. What I've heard from her, she has said that I have always been skeptical. That to me is a red flag, because she's essentially, I didn't do nothing. I'm just willing to talk to people and not trash talk them anymore. But she hasn't dropped any of the mentality that she had that led her to her conclusions before. She's now willing to engage with people. And let's bear in mind that she went silent for months. We had the Trump election. She also flipped out over that.
Yeah.
This all does to me smack of a reorientation of her channel and the content she wants to produce. She's kind of run through the gamut of what she was doing before, but if she can engage with us in relatively reasonable conversations, that's video material.
Yeah. Also bring back the top facing down camera and the titties. Bring that back and we'll be cool.
No, but
that's never gone away, Plippy.
Yeah.
It's nowhere as obvious as it used to be, is what I'm saying.
All I want is that we at least give people the benefit of the doubt and don't necessarily to sort of slug them over their head for their past crimes, because there's enough fucking people doing that anyways. And I do realize that I
reserving judgment.
Yeah, reserve judgments and allow
until she openly admits that she is at fault for some of the rhetoric and some of the behavior.
Oh yeah, I want to hear that at least. But that's
the thing. Like in her whole red pill video, there was never a point where she ever admitted that she was a part of the problem.
I will quite gladly take this much. And this is going to sound a bit weird, but I'll take it. I'll even take the whole kind of, if you bring it up to her, she'll go, and sort of like pretends that doesn't happen, because I've noticed that with a lot with people, and I take that as a tacit acknowledgement that you are full of shit.
There's not confirmed anywhere, but at least Sargon did issue the invitation for her to come on his channel and come on his channel.
She's not going to. She's not going to go on anybody who is going to actually grill her hard and ask hard questions.
Well,
no, she's not going to go on anybody's channel who's going to ask her about those DMCs.
I wouldn't make absolutist fucking statements, because you end up with egg on your face. So.
Okay, she might if
her
objective is to set up for an apology. Okay.
Yeah.
The thing is, we don't know what her actual strategy is.
No, that's it. We can't be mind readers.
I'd like to say this, regardless of why she's doing it, in the overall culture war, it's a one battle.
Oh yeah,
and it's a big battle.
Yeah.
You know, it damaged a lot of their credibility, because she was an idol to them in terms of success.
She's the only one that
they turned on her like that.
In terms of YouTube numbers, she was the champion. She has 1.7 subscribers, I believe. None of them have anything close to that.
No.
I think the closest one is Francesca Ramsey has access to the MTV YouTube channel, and the videos don't get any views.
No.
And the funny thing, possibly the funniest thing about all this is that she's getting more cred from our side, from people on the other side attacking her so viciously.
Yeah. That's the way it always is with ideologues with cultists, for fucking.
Can't step out. You step out, you get the punishment, and this is their version of punishment.
I think it's funny. Brought up her past atheist past, and apparently now she's an Islamophobe. It's like.
I think it's hilarious that whenever this happens, whenever a woman steps out of this ideological war and sees that things are a bit more gray, it's always the feminist men that attack the hardest and most brutally. Every single time. Like, there's maybe one or two female commentators that are kind of going hard on her, but it's the fucking men that are like, burn her at the stake, burn the witch.
Guys fucking flipping right out. Holy shit.
Oh, Kevin Logan was the worst. Kevin Logan was.
This is I think it's what potato
directly
thinks.
Fucking. He was.
I don't care about him. He's a bum.
Who cares about him?
Boys use him to masturbate.
Who cares about him? My favourite one was Steve Shives and Hank Green, the science guy. My favourite one was Steve Shives just going, because he can't criticise a woman. He can't. It's against his programming. And he was going, I'm just really disappointed. And he started impotently lashing out at everyone else. And Hank Green, who did the man threading on Twitter, he had the one of 2000s tweet thing going on at Lacey Green. It's like, oh, that's harassment, bro.
Yeah.
But
I love that Dan Olsen was trying to act indignant.
Yeah,
and that was I'm like, dude.
Hank Green, and he was there going, I don't understand why you want to talk to anti-feminists. I don't seem to understand why they want to even admit trans women are real. I thought, you don't know anything about this, do you? You're just your typical sort of slightly feminist male who lives in San Francisco, and you don't actually know any of the opposing arguments.
I wouldn't actually be surprised if we had more.
Well, when you block everything and you use a block list, of course you don't hear the opposing argument.
Green.
That's the whole thing.
No, Hank Green hasn't blocked any of us.
A cult doesn't work. A cult doesn't work without you shutting out the opinions and beliefs of anyone that might disagree with you.
Any misinformation. Well, actually,
any misinformation.
Conceived misinformation. Off-point information.
Yes. So the fact that the majority of people, even if they don't have everybody blocked, they're never going to actually listen to any of the opposing arguments because it's bad on faith. And as soon as you question anything, you have to question all of it, which is, how you break a cultist mindset. Is you only have to get them to admit one thing they don't agree with, one thing that's not quite right, one thing that doesn't make sense, because then it all unravels after that.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason Lacey Green is a threat to them is she's that one thing.
Yeah.
She has a big audience, and even if they're upset with her for doing this,
Plippy.
they're still going to listen.
No, I'm just fucking sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's hot. Don't get me wrong. Lacey Green is hot. I never said she wasn't. I just said that she.
Oh my God! Can we stop talking about her tits?
No, I'm not.
No one
I think
cares
she's
how
not-
your penis feels.
I think. Well, I do. And so
But
she.
basically,
No,
because even though, like, even if they disenfranchise her and they make her the enemy number one that they're trying to now, they're still going to. Everyone's going to listen to her next video.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's going to listen to her next couple of videos, and they're going to hear the arguments that they don't want to hear.
So I'm currently looking at Twitter, right? And one of the old atheist YouTubers, Dark Matter, saying it's like, Lacey Green has switched over because it's better for her channel. They're saying, what was it? Someone was coming into the comments saying the anti-SJW is just as pissed off with Lacey Green switching over as the SJWs were. They said
she's not switched though.
But like this is their point. All the social justice warriors wanted to begin with was for LGBT people to be more accepted. What? No,
That was not what the
So
problem.
they claimed for how long now? 4 or 5 years? They just wanted to start a conversation.
Yeah.
Lacey Green's like, okay, let's have a
Let's start a
conversation, and they
conversation.
all lose their shit. Proving their ultimate premise was a load of bullshit in the first place. What they wanted was a lecture, and they wanted you to conform to their lecture material.
Also, when
Yeah,
it comes
like-
to this, trans, what you want to prove to that trans people exist is just about having like ethnic and sexual minorities be represented. Hashtag Metal Shield, bitch.
Yep, that was it.
I've got no problem with trans people. I am skeptical about the non-binary stuff, and no one has provided me with any information of research or evidence or
Trans is not
studies that have been done.
All this aside, I think
non-binary though. That's an important note as well.
I think
No, I
we're
know that.
landing on a spot where her even opening up a conversation is damaging to them. I don't trust her. Okay.
But we'll hear her out.
But I'll hear her out.
Yeah. So let's move on because we're running out of time and we got a bunch of topics left.
We always run out of time.
Yeah. Should we talk about the Julian Assange thing and Seth Rich before we end for today?
Assange, just real quick. Sweden was full of shit.
Yeah.
They always were. They always have been. They just admitted it finally and dropped the fucking charges.
Well, it's that Sweden doesn't know what rape is anymore because they're saying it's not happening. So they just have to keep the narrative.
Yeah.
They've got enough rapes to deal with at this
No,
point.
there's no rape in Sweden. There is no rape in Sweden. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Nothing happened last night in Sweden.
Poor Julian Assange is just another foreigner charged with rape in Sweden.
He's
This is what gets me. Is that there's pretty much a tacit admission that was a completely fabricated charge.
It was.
Him in hiding in the embassies, or even not, to be able to extradite to the US.
If you had a potential rapist in your country, why would you let them hop on a plane and leave?
No, but here's
Sweden.
This is Sweden.
You don't know Europe if you think, why don't we let the rapist leave discreetly? That's very European.
Here, the thing about the rape laws in Sweden is that they're very, very fucking vaguely framed. So what he was charged with wasn't necessarily rape, but it falls under the rape sort of clause of the penal code in Sweden. What he was charged with was having sex with 2 women without a condom, and and not testing themselves. It's a weird fucking law, and it's a weird fucking paragraph in that.
Basically, they charged him with rape because the condom burst.
Yeah.
Really? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
It's idiotic.
That's essentially what it is. But it's going past all that. All of that was bullshit. All of that was smokescreen. But it's not like he's not going to come out of hiding. There are plenty of people that want him fucking dead.
Especially the Clintonian folks, because let's just get down to brass tacks as far as that goes.
Yeah.
He's doing damage.
Hillary Clinton has come right out and said that she lost the election because of WikiLeaks. She has said that. She has also said that the people who gave Assange the WikiLeaks stuff were Russians. So she's claiming that he's working with the Russians. And that goes kind of to the Seth Rich thing, because the claim came out that actually he was the WikiLeaker. Personally, there's like 3 or 4 major candidates it could be, but this is the important thing. The guy withdrew his claim and said, "Oh, well, all the evidence on that is on his laptop, which is in the possession of the police, and I've never seen it."
Yeah.
Here's the thing: when Seth Rich was killed, all right.
Are you going to do Here's the Thing this week?
No, okay.
You've already done like 7. So.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm not ranting about anything. With impudent rage, I can't get Jen angry.
Rage.
But when you look, because we talked about it on this show in detail when he got shot, that this was fishy and didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Shot twice in the back during a failed robbery where none of his belongings were taken.
Yeah. And suddenly,
the fact that he was on a phone call with his girlfriend talking about this stuff, the fact that, it didn't seem right.
The fact that police have his laptop.
Yeah, like, why do the police have his laptop, or the FBI? We don't know who has it. We don't.
Well, the FBI has come out and officially said that they were never given it by the Metro Police Department.
Okay, so the police, like, why do they have his laptop if it was just a street robbery?
And the police refused to talk with anybody in the media about any of this.
Yeah. And now all this stuff is coming out about the post-mortem as well. That obviously they're unconfirmed because they come through poll, but I'd say anything legitimate in the press these days. But something coming out through polls saying that, and a lot of these is basically said that we looked, we found all this stuff, and then the next day, policemen came and we weren't even allowed to come near the body because it was a VIP, and just like they wouldn't even let us go in the same room as Seth Rich's body was, kind of thing.
And let's compare that. I mean, Poll at least puts out stuff that they allege to be documents. The Washington Post and New York Times are going with the idea that this I mean, it's a little bit of a departure, but the memo from Comey, supposedly they don't even have that.
Yeah.
It's somebody who's a Comey associate that we don't know who they are, read part of the alleged memo over the phone to them, and that's good enough.
Yeah, exactly. And
that is bullshit.
Yeah, I'm amazed that people still use Washington Post. It's so heavily implicated in WikiLeaks.
It's a legacy media outlet because the Washington Post has been around for so long.
This is the thing. The Washington Post, Politico, New York Times, they've never questioned the veracity of WikiLeaks. And like, apart from the point where they said that there were some faked ones implanted in WikiLeaks along with the true ones, but then they never pointed out those as specifically better. Like the ones that were faked, kind of thing. The ones where Politico are running,
because then they'd have to back up their bullshit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, no. At this point, they have to have them be legitimate. They have to be legitimate because otherwise they weren't hacked from anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. Especially when like someone tried Podesta's password that was in WikiLeaks and managed to get control of his
password. Password.
Yeah,
he did not change it.
Yeah, but this is the thing. So many of their news articles are anonymous sources that you may as well just trust Paul almost more than, because we don't know that they.
It has a better history of being correct at this point.
Yeah, but I mean, Paul was right again. Fucking, we know this to be true.
And I actually saw a piece by Tim Pool, excuse me, did a piece where he was gobsmacked by this. He's pointed out that, I've been questioning this, I've been looking into this, and I've been talking to other news people because he used to work with Vice. He runs in those circles, and they all tell him, no, this is the way things are done. It's the way things always have been done. Where have you been?
And doing actual journalism.
Journalism. Yeah, I've been in fucking Rinkaby.
It's
Silicon Valley making shit up.
Because it looks like the leakers, because the DNC emails and the Podesta emails look like separate info dumps from separate people. Yeah. Seth Rich most likely was the DNC leaks.
Yes. And then Podesta fell for a phishing link.
Yeah, Podesta fell for a phishing link. So you can't credit all of it to Seth, but it's obvious that he was probably the leaker. And it'd be different if WikiLeaks pretended like the dude didn't exist, but they gave a $20,000 reward for any information on what happened to the guy. Why would they do that unless he was connected in some way? Why would they do that unless...
There's a lot of suggestive stuff that does point in that direction, but I'm still the kind of guy who says, look, if it comes down to isn't it obvious, I gotta stop right there.
Was that phishing
link?
Was that phishing link?
WikiLeaks
God damn it! I want to make a joke.
No, your joke sucked.
No, I said I wanted to say that. Was that phishing link any part of a online pizza order?
Get some sauce on there.
No. When you look at the reason that Seth Rich is so important in this situation is because WikiLeaks never reveals its sources. And it can't because it has to protect its sources. So they can never outright say, hey, the leaker was Seth Rich.
It was so obvious, though, with this Angela.
Video.
It was like,
there are a couple of other possible options. And like you're saying, it's like he was one. He may have been one of several leakers. I'm still looking at the Awans. An entire
it could be that
who did not get checked for any kind of clearances, who were leaking other stuff from the DNC email servers.
Because there was so much of it, it could not... I almost wanted to say that it's too much information for one person to be able to get their hands on.
Or who the hell knows? Maybe it was the ones who gave it to Rich and then he passed it on.
That's a distinct possibility.
Yeah. It's a good scenario.
But there's no way his death was this failed robbery. It doesn't make any sense.
It's a robbery without a robbery.
Yeah, his watch was there. All his credit cards were there. His wallet with his money in it.
Oh, okay, let me break down basic psychology. If you're trying to rob somebody, you don't want to kill them. If you're just going to kill them and take their stuff, you just shoot them and take their stuff. If you're that kind of criminal. Yeah. You don't hold a gun up to somebody and say, give me your stuff.
Yeah.
Unless you're planning.
Listen to the black man. He's the authority on robbing
when people say that it was a robbery gone wrong in other situations, what usually happens is that there was a struggle.
Yeah.
Somebody pulled the gun, a guy lunged for it, the gun went off. There was an argument. There was something.
And that means DNA on the dude.
Yeah, and it also, but getting shot in the back twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Failed robbery.
Failed robbery, sans robbery.
I think there's nothing that we can sort of draw any conclusion off, but there's enough there to sort of have a huge fucking bonfire without
it's still conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
It's still conspiracy theory, but for fuck's sake, it's a very, very hard one to discredit.
I don't think there's anything
very hard and long.
To be fair, I don't think there's any alternative that is more likely than Seth Rich being the leaker, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, it's the whole,
it is
simplest explanation.
Possible. It is entirely possible that some asshole just was pissed off, went out and decided to gun down a random person and happened to be Seth Rich. That is But we're also talking about
it's America after all.
Well, it's Washington D.C., one of the most murderous areas of the country. Yeah. But let's bear in mind Occam's razor and Hanlon's razor. We don't have all the facts, but this does look like it's the most likely prospect.
Yeah, I mean, do
Absolutely.
you think he turned down the self-driving car?
No, yeah.
Well, that was a conversation killer. I'm sorry.
I didn't catch what you said. I was going like,
sorry.
he
Did
turned down the he turned down the staff dragon car.
Sorry, the self-driving car. I've had a couple of whiskeys.
Oh.
Yeah.
The Google
That's it,
car
mate.
pulls up. You want to lift? No, bang.
Yep. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. Either
I
you
know-
die in the middle of nowhere, choked by your seatbelt, or we just blow you up now.
Christine.
Christine.
I don't know. It's just it's one of those things where, you know, the only reason it's an issue is because people are trying to lie and say that Russia hacked the election and hacked the DNC and
Yeah.
it's whenever information like this usually comes out, it's usually somebody on the inside.
Well, that's the thing. You follow the sources back that the Washington Post or BuzzFeed are using, and it's all like a CIA
He
report.
said,
that
she
says,
said
We
bullshit.
currently think that it's Russia. I was like, yeah, I bet you do.
Possibly, maybe at some point, sometime, possibility.
Russia had the
Bullshit.
capability to do this. Well, great. Did they fucking do it?
No
That's-
actual tangible
yeah.
evidence whatsoever that Russia did it,
It
with
is-
absolutely
it is
everybody looking for it.
So
And
did
I thought this to a friend.
a
Okay, we have-
14-year-old kid in a basement somewhere. And anybody
actually
could
have
send
a
out a
statement.
fucking phishing link. It's
Yeah, it's true. And we have a
£400
statement from Dianne Feinstein. Okay, Senator. She's one of the most partisan Democrat senators in Congress. Okay, she was asked point blank by Wolf Blitzer, "Is there anything here? You're on these committees," and she says, "Well, no, there is no evidence which actually shows Trump collusion with Russia. All we have are rumors and news stories."
Yeah.
And
Literally
you look at the
nothing.
news stories; they're rumors.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the kind of thing where you're like, okay,
It's a fucking morons like G here still going on about the fucking Trump dossier.
yeah. If anybody had any proof whatsoever that Russia was involved in any of this, it would not be hidden. It'd be on the side of fucking milk cartons at this point.
Yeah, that's the thing. With the amount of shit that the deep state is leaking, you really think concrete evidence has just been held onto? It makes no fucking sense.
Look, if there was any information on Russia,
They're too
someone
busy
right now
shutting
would have
down
been bought and
hospitals.
sold in order to get access to it by now.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that we basically
On a high
went
note.
through that topic
Shield the
pretty
book
well.
again. Shield the book again before we go.
Yeah, I was gonna do that. Don't worry, I have it under control.
He was planning to.
Yeah, it was planned.
Make sure you put a link in the description, bro.
He already has, I've seen
both links are in this description. Both to my
holding
both to the
my
Kindle
off that
version
pesky
and the paperback. I would be honored if you bought my book. I would be honored if you just shared the link. It would be awesome if
Notice you
Anybody
said
not allowed to
buy
on
it,
Twitter
not read.
anymore.
You don't have to read it. You just have to buy it.
Yeah,
Full
But if-
disclosure, Jan's my friend.
yeah.
Full disclosure, I edited the book.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, Plippy's gone, but Plippy did the blurb.
Yeah, but if anybody wants to have a conversation about the book online in any sort of hangout, let me know. I'm always up to talk about my book, even though I didn't get
And even your book.
Yeah,
if you
just-
get a word
Can I close this on a bit of a goofball scandal?
Sure.
In Second Life, many pet rabbits will die on Saturday as their virtual feed is cut off due to a lawsuit against the in-game company which sells the virtual feed, which is DRM protected, thus shutting down their server and killing the rabbits.
Oh no, there's 4 rabbits. I thought Second Life was full of trolls. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just little
It
critters.
is.
PETA could not be reached for comment.
Anyways, buy Ismark the Mark Boy on Amazon today if you like fantasy. If you like epic fantasy, buy it now. Anyways, that have been it for the Unsolicited Opinions podcast. I've been your host, the Meerkat Monarch. With me, as always, is Artivous Ira. and Dr. Evil, and our regulars is Plipp, Deefry, and of course our very own unicorn, Roy. We will see you guys. We will see you guys
Really.
next week. Bye.
Ta-ra!
And we have me on for the second.
Hey.
No.